I cannot believe that we are already on Love is Blind season 4. Time is flying. Now, if you've been living up under a rock and you have no clue what the hell a Love is Blind is, child, simply put, it's a dating show, and they are pretty much removing the physicality in the whole process. So you're not going to be able to see the person. You don't get a description, none of that. You are pretty much getting to know the person based off their charm, their personality, their skills, conversation. I just feel like it's basically you're setting the foundation, because the foundation matters in a good ass relationship. Now, in the first few episodes, they was pretty much just in the pods, or the politicians chat. That's what I like to call it. And they just getting to know each other. Now, I ain't gonna lie, child, I was exhausted, honey. I had to take a nap. I was tired as if I was part of the damn process watching them date these people. They had some interesting characters there. Now, you had one guy who just wanted to come out and tell the world that he wore leopard. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I love me some leopard too, but where did that even come from? Somebody started talking about a bloody nose and how the hell when he was on top of somebody, it just started pouring out like a faucet. Then you got one who's saying that he's a stripper. I mean, honey, I was just like, oh, Lord, the ghetto.
Oh, the ghetto.
We're gonna get more into like episode 4 and 5, because that's when everything start getting juicy. I'm also gonna kind of like add in some things that I've seen throughout episodes 1 and 3 also. I just need to say that my favorite couple is definitely Tiffany and Brett. They are giving the Alexa and Brennan of this season. They are giving the Lauren and Cameron of season 1 in this season. Like, it just meshes well. It looks good on them, and I'm rooting for them. They started off talking with Zack. Now, I didn't want to be the mean girl with everybody else, because everybody else kept saying, oh, he gives me the crease and he's so weird. But I just have to be a part of that clan, because, honey, he definitely was giving that. Did you notice how they would keep playing like spooky music while he talked? It's like he talked so slow. He's just strategically thinking about every word. So he's like, yeah, I think I want the, it's like he's making sure he ain't fucking up. But it was giving me the guy from You on Netflix, the stalkerish, weird, creepy tease, child. And then when he met Irma for the first time, child, I'm gonna call her Irma because she looking like one, okay? I just didn't care for sis at all. But when they met her, what her name, Irina, Elvira, I can't even think of the girl name. What is it? But they acted the weirdest. In this episode, they pretty much met for the first time, and I just instantly knew that sis did not like what she saw. She was just like, can you blink? Stop looking at me. Stop staring at me and blink. Yeah, she was just real frustrated right away. She just seemed uncomfy, and she was kind of like laughing it off, but you can tell like she was just like, oh Lord Jesus, what I done signed myself up for. She didn't even want to kiss him, child. She gave him the cheek real quick. That's when you know. We done had too many seasons to not know that when you're getting the cheek, oh yeah, you could forget it. There's no sex going on the whole entire damn season. And the fact that she told the man he looked like a cartoon character, I mean, and then he trying to figure out which one. He's like, well, I don't know if it's a compliment or not. Like, really? I just felt like he was being a little oblivious at times, because she was kind of throwing it out there. Her being the mean girl, they kind of just make it known that they don't too much care for you, or you can't sit with us. And he just wasn't catching the signals at all. When they giving hugs, she pushed back and make a whole gap. Honey, I can go and stand in between them on how she gives the extended hug like this, way from back here. Yeah, no, sis don't like them. This episode, we see them arrive to the TRS hotel. They start off with showing Jackie and Marshall sitting at the table having a breakfast. Now, Jackie did mention to the camera now that this ain't normally her regular type. She normally deal with the tall dudes with all the tattoos, dark chocolate, handsome, child, tatted up, gold teeth, probably all that. This was outside of her norm. On the other hand, Marshall now, he was like, yeah, you're what I normally date in the real world. They start that real rush early on, child. They don't waste no time. Now, let me just talk about Jackie and Marshall in the pods. Marshall really reminds me of Jackson from Grey's Anatomy. He reminds me like his little brother. I really love that Marshall was very emotional. That's the problem with these men these days. They are very emotionless or full of emotion, but refuse to show it. When those two first seen each other, I think that they really liked each other. They didn't give off the whole like they wasn't feeling one another. They really act as if, I ain't gonna lie, Marshall need to pump his brakes, child. He talking about he in love. Now I normally get the love card thrown out from the palm folks. They normally be the ones on this show that are expeditiously throw out the L word, but he was just like, yeah, I love you already, you been mad since like yesterday. He pretty much marked his territory, and he let her know, look, you need to tell homeboy that it ain't nothing. Josh, was that his name? It ain't nothing. Now when they met back up in the pause, now remember, now she didn't even tell him right away. So it was like she was kind of holding on, trying to, you know, pay both sides of the fence. She wasn't really sure. But, you know, that's natural when you dating. You're supposed to date a few. You don't supposed to be exclusive right away. Speaking of Josh Child, remember when Marshall got big man girl? Yeah, you seen when he came out them paws? He came out like big and buff, like he was about to go whoop some ass, honey. And then when he went into the room, he was just like, oh, somebody's in here is talking to my girl and saying some things that I don't like. Josh was like, is you talking about me? Because I thought I heard a... Say something. I'm right here, sir. They was very into their competitive mode, child. That tension was thick, honey. You can cut it with a knife. Jackie, on the other hand, was not my favorite. I really had a soft spot for Marshall, though. Jackie just wasn't my favorite. She hasn't been. And as the episodes keep going, I'm seeing why the hell she's not my favorite. Marshall just gives off this whole sweet, caring, loving energy. Did you see when he went straight to the question of, are we gonna wait to, you know, do? And she just like, what? Why would I do that? Now, first off, let's acknowledge that he even asked, are we planning on waiting? And he would respect that. But let's also point it out that Sis was ready to bust it wide open immediately. Sis say, why would I wait? I need to find out what I'm working with today before I go to that altar and say I do. Then now you see Irina and Zack chilling. Start bringing up that again about Zack looking like a cartoon character. He's still trying to figure out which one. This man really wanted that to be a compliment. Not Godfrey as the kid name, though. Even he's weird at creating names. But if you notice, he'll give her a little compliment and she'll thank him for it, but she would never be like, oh, you as well. He'll be like, oh, you look good. I know. Really? She called him crazy ball, creepy ball. I mean, the girl throw low blows and give these little nicknames that are not, I wouldn't be proud of. And he still just is like, I know she said that, but is it in the nice way? Or is it, it's like, she said what she said, honey. He definitely just seems like the type that'll watch her sleep. I can see why she put the little belt in between them and went all the way on the opposite side of the bed. I'm talking about so far that she could just, if she even tried to make a move, she'll fall right on the floor. You hear bloom bloom in the middle of the night. Yeah, I can kind of see why she keeping her distance, because man, she gonna wake up in the morning and he gonna be like this. And then they got on the whole topic of who does she look better with makeup on or off. I was just like, Lord, now look, the girl done already said she had acne issues growing up. I know how that is, honey. That ain't easy to go through. And then he want to bring up, do she look good without makeup on or better with? I don't know if he was giving a compliment or trying to be shady, because I mean, she was been a little shady boots to him. So I mean, I guess she deserved that, huh? It's really shocking though, I'm not gonna lie, because in the past she really came off as she liked him. At least that's what it seemed like. I mean, she seemed like she was very jealous hearted, child, because remember how she was acting with Bliss. Bliss was in there baking cupcakes, candy, cake, cookies, child. She had a whole bakery going on in there. She was just like, oh, I forgot it was his birthday. She actually asked him, well, why you like Bliss over me? And he's like, well, you know, you could be a little vicious, but I feel like you'll have my back. Like that, I mean, you rather go with vicious than to go with... He really didn't too much care for when she said that she got to question his judgment of character, or his, you know, if he really is into Irina or whatever her name is, because he's like, she's like, you know, I see this other side that you probably don't see, but she's a mean girl, and if you like that, then honey, I don't even see how you could like me, because we are two totally different people. Maybe it was the singing child that did it for her too, because what Why does everybody come on this show thinking that this is American Idol? Did y'all see her low-key covering her ears? I can see why though, because he ain't have a lick of talent when it came to music, chat. I just think that Irina, whoever her name, and Micah were definitely the mean girls in the house, honey. They would get over in a little huddle and start talking about people. And then they also, the mean girls, do you notice that they be like that towards other people, but they also low-key be like that towards each other as well, a little jealous-hearted. They kind of like low-key do shady to one another. Like, it was just different instances in the pods and in the house where it was just like, I had to kept questioning the whole relationship, friendships. Y'all don't want shit like that, huh? Now, Kwame and Chelsea, child, I can't get into them. I can't get into them as a couple. I just personally feel like, first off, he was vibing so hard for Micah, child. So hard that when he went in there to tell her that he wanted to make him hers, make her his, okay, he was gonna pop the question. Sis had already made up her mind and said, no, it's nothing. Remember, homeboy went out, he had to start crying. He didn't want to talk with nobody. Like, he was hurt. He was devastated. How do you move from that point to 0.5 seconds later, so in love with Chelsea? Chelsea just gave the entire time the energy of second best, child. It was very much giving me Bartice, Nancy. Kwame just not doing it for me though, child. He just really not. The only thing I really like about him is his name. That's a pretty name. He be having them tight ass pants on, child. At one point, you could see his handprint in his pocket. That's when you know they tight. You ain't got no room. Kwame do the whole little song thing too with the guitar, and he's like asking her to sing along like she the audience, honey. And and that's a #1 hit that done been out for a while. It wasn't given. I also feel like they dragged out the whole process of Kwame and Chelsea. Like, once Micah made up her mind, I just knew that the next few clips would show that now he moved on with Chelsea. But it kept like dragging, child. Even when in the pause, when he was ready to ask her, then she come with her little story and her essay before she say yeah. Like, it was just giving too much. I guess because I don't really care for them much. It's just like, okay, let's hurry up with their clip. Now, when they finally seen one another, they did seem like they really liked each other with the kissing and everything. But tell me something. How many names does Mr. Kwame himself have? Seemed like 32, but y'all, let me tell you something. Chelsea knew every last one of them. She included every last one of them in her I do. Y'all come talk to me and tell me if I'm the only one that's getting that energy that these two is not where it's at, that it's too much like pretending. I don't know. It just amazes me how Kwame acts like Chelsea was his first draft pick. Like, he wasn't just hurt by the rejection of Micah. Almost giving like he has to convince himself that he really like her and that this is really it. But I don't know. I see straight through it. I see straight through it. Brett and Tiffany. Now, can I just say that the entire time from the past, like, I don't even remember them dating other people. If they did, they didn't really show it much. But I really don't even have much negativity to say about them. They just, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I almost forgot. Tell me how the hell Sister Girl managed to fall asleep. That was dead ass wrong. That was wrong. Now, I ain't gonna lie. That's what happens when you're on that Casamigos. You have a shot or 3 or 4, because I done been there before. Put you straight to sleep. But, honey, the man is pouring out his heart. He's telling you that he love you and that he already having a hard time even doing this and moving to the next point. And then you had a whole audacity to fall asleep on the young man. I ain't gonna lie, at one point I was like, well, did she leave? Did he say something wrong? Because it was crickets. I ain't hear nothing. He like, hello? Hello? Tiffany? Are you there? Said to myself, that couldn't have been me, because, honey, he would have knew all this snoring I be doing when I go to sleep. In 0.5 seconds, he would have knew, I was out like a light. And then I was like, then he made a little comment. You know, they like to make shit juicy. So right before commercial, they was like, yeah, I'm just tired of it. I ain't with it. I'm through. I'm like, well, wait a minute. He gonna be petty Betty and throw the whole towel in because the girl done fell asleep? She was wrong. He had the right to be upset. But other than that, I feel like they really mesh well. It's not forced. It just flows. And him handsome too, child. Him handsome. You seen him? They was the first ones to get engaged. Like, he knew what he wanted and he went after it, and I like that. And I also like that Marshall was kind of like, you know, in his corner motivating him. Like, yeah, if that's what you want, then baby, go after that. Do that. Brett is just such a charmer. He's just so perfect. I mean, he just knows what to say. He say the right things. He do the right thing. They just be blushing and complimenting each other, honey. I will be devastated if when they go back home and get into the real world that there's some skeletons in the closet, child, or something. You know, because sometimes it always be too good to be true. Now, let's talk about Micah and Paul now, okay? Because they start showing them two. And I wanted to say that these two are my next favorite, but I don't even know if they're going to get that title at this point. I ain't even gonna lie. I think Paul is definitely a replica of Cole. Don't he look like Cole's little brother too? He's just too cute. Maybe I'm just missing Cole, child. Michael did mention that Paul is not her normal cup of tea. Let's talk about them two when they was in the pause, okay? Before we talk about what's going on in this episode. I just kind of feel like Michael, her being the mean girl that she is, she just kind of she didn't want nobody else to have him. So she was pressuring him, oh, tell her. Tell Amber you don't want her and you're all mine. Okay, now remind you, they would go into the room, her and her little friend, Irma, or Irina, or whoever. They'll go in there and they'll start talking about everything, or they'll be listening in to what everybody else saying, and they heard Amber say how she feeling him and how she this and how she that, and they ain't like it. 2 seconds later, she want to go meet him up in the pause and tell him, hey, if you want me, you got to tell her that's it. And then they all looking to see, and then running over, and while the girl crying, trying to eavesdrop, like just, ugh. I just felt like she just wanted him to do that expeditiously because she wanted to be able to say, nanny, boo boo, I got him, and you don't, you know, the mean girl. I noticed that they shared a connection in the pause, but I just feel like her energy is a little off. I don't know about how I feel about her talking with Kwame either. Like, I just don't see that. I didn't see that either. I didn't get that either. Micah and Paul was the second to get engaged. And when they saw each other, they seemed like they really liked each other. Paul, I really felt bad for Paul. Oh, I felt bad for Amber when he had to break it to her. You know, she came in. She was so excited. Oh, hello, who is behind there? And then he's like, oh, hey. His energy was just so like dry, I guess, because he didn't know how he was going to do it. And she was so excited that it was him. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, he about to break this girl whole heart. Amber did not see it coming. It was really a low blow. And I felt bad. Not to mention Irina kept boosting it up. Like, why they taking so long? You see, she even a mean girl to her own damn friend. She's like, girl, what they still doing in there talking? I thought he was just gonna break it off and then come back. Why they taking so long? Did he change his mind? Like, just stirring the pot. Just stirring the pot. Them type of girls, neither one of them are nobody's friend. Both of them gave off the bitchy vibes. Did y'all see Kwame's mannerism when Paul came in and said, oh, I'm engaged? Homeboy grabbed the whole bottle. He needed the whole bottle, honey, okay? He was upset. He was pissed. He was hot, child. We could have cooked the egg on his ass. Now, we see Jackie and Marsha go out and have food. He gets into this whole tooting her own horn thing. Like, the whole speech of, I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you. I know you ain't gonna go nowhere. Hey, look at me. I know that I am the whole table, honey. I don't bring nothing to the table because I am the table. Like, she gave off that energy. But then in the same breath, she was like, my concern is me. It's not you, it's me. You know how them girls do that. I'm not worried about what you'll do, baby, because I know you would do right, but it's me. And I'm thinking, like, what you mean? Yeah, because when I get back home and we get back to reality, that it may be this and this and that. What was up with Jackie? Go back to what? It was giving like she was a stripper, a prostitute, doing some type of illegal activities, honey. I was so confused as to what she talking about she got to go back home to. Then she starts crying, and I was just so sad for Marshall, because I seen it in Marshall's face, like, what the hell is going on? What happened? He's like, what can I do to make this situation better? I loved his whole style. What can I do? Like, him being available and willing. Girl, Marshall better. I low-key feel like she just did it just to see how he would do. What would he do? She talked about her family and all this stuff, but honey, where is it coming from? Now I'm eager to see. Is anybody else eager to hurry up and get back to reality so they can see how the reality going? Because something in the milk ain't clean, honey, how she was acting. Then we see Irina again, honey. I cringe every time I see them too. I just felt, at one point I started feeling sorry for the man. She really was not into him. She's so hesitant and standoffish. He asked something along the lines of, well, you wasn't like that in the pause. And she was like, yeah, because I didn't see you. I only knew your voice. I'm like, he didn't catch that? I feel like she tried to tell him many times without being too mean. But it went over his head, child. So then Kwame and Chelsea sitting around, they eating. And Chelsea's like, is there anything I should be concerned about? Is there anything I need to know? Is there any differences that we might have a problem when we get back to reality? He was like, yeah, there's little things, but nothing big. I don't know. It's just not convincing to me. And it seems like Chelsea is more into it than he is. Like, do y'all just notice? Just watch his face sometime when she says certain things. And he kind of just zones off. I feel like when he zones off, he thinking about Micah. I really couldn't wait to be able to see when they all come together, baby, because that's when we was going to be able to tell the story. Paul and Irina was a little bit too flirty for me, child. When they got down to that pool area, I was just like, She definitely gives off that energy like she won't mind. Now, Kwame did mention he did ask Chelsea do you mind if I have a conversation with Micah when I see her? And Chelsea's like, okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you 5 minutes. But not 20 and 25 and 30 minutes, child. Not touching and physical and rubbing and hugging and all that multiple times, okay? Let's back it up. Let's go to the point where everybody is at the little pool thing. This is where everybody link up. They see each other for the first time. Kwame stood up and talked about Micah to Brett for about 20, 30 minutes straight. I felt bad for the man. He just was like, yeah. When somebody just keep talking, that's all you can get in. He wouldn't even let the poor man talk. Chelsea goes to ask Kwame, hey, do you mind getting me some guac and chips? She was trying to save Brett. He said, yeah, I got you, but hold on. He gets back to talking. Remember, he ain't entertained Chelsea too long. He just was like, I got you, and right back to the topic. Here come the mean girls. They like, hey, do you mind getting us some shots? He like, oh, yeah, y'all want some shots? Oh, they want some shots, Brett. He didn't physically go get the shots, but he did entertain it when they came and bought the shots. He completely forgot about Chelsea and bringing her damn guac and chips, I felt bad for the girl. She had to end up getting out and go get her own damn food at the grill. Micah had this poor man losing his whole train of thought. It was the shade for me. Micah say, let's toast to a failed proposal. Boom. That was like a blow to the chest. Micah was like, oh, I was just kidding. I'm just playing around. But you don't play like that. He got pissed. He didn't even drink. He put the shot down. He walked away. But he couldn't be too damn pissed because immediately he came back and was like, can I have a talk with you? Poor Chelsea still waiting on her chips. Remember now, Irma or Irina was like, oh, I don't too much like him. He giving mean vibes. He need to chill out. Why he acting so rude and meanie? He's a meanie pants. Not near as much as y'all. So they sitting down, Micah and Kwame, and they talking it out. And he like, yeah, I ain't like that. You ain't have to say that. Because, I really cared about you. And to me, that's no joke. And I'm still trying to heal from that. And she's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. No, I would never do anything intentional to hurt you. It was just her being a mean girl. No, that's her character, honey. Believe it when she show you the first time. He started throwing the whole apologies and trying to switch it around and being this whole sweet. Next thing you know, he starts getting mesmerized, hypnotized, child. He grabbing her hand, he grinning, he's blushing. He have to say nothing. The body language told it all. You see how he was all leaned over, honey, arch in the back, all into her. At this point, Chelsea could completely forget about the damn guac and chips. She was bit mad too. She started talking with the lady. She's like, he ain't even bring me my chips. I was hungry, so I had to go get my own food. Honey, I told him that he could have a conversation, but not for 20 minutes. Not giving the language that they're giving with one another. And they're like, yo, go get your man. Let him know. Let that know. She was just like, you know what? Now forget it. And stormed off. He kept repeating himself about his feelings. So was Micah. I can't just say he was in it by himself. Both of them kept expressing feelings. Then she'll come in for a hug. He'll give it to her, holding a little bit too long. But just you got your whole wife or fiance out here. Both of y'all. Where the hell was Paul? Probably over there with Irva. She was over there plotting. So when she storms off, that was the end of episode 4. So in episode 5, they start off at dinner, but that same night. Jackie, she was such an instigator. I knew I ain't too much care for her. Ooh. One thing I don't like is the instigator. Soon as she came over, because now mind you, she was all hyping up Chelsea like, girl, go get your man. Don't let her sit over there and talk with him. Pull him in right quick. But she was the first one to deliver too that, she was big mad. She told Michael, oh yeah, she was big mad. She was mad you was over there talking to her man. Just messy. I thought she was cool with Chelsea, so I didn't like that she even broke her neck to even do all that. Then they went on to talk about Irina, her own friend now. Micah now, in the midst, because that's her friend. Jackie and Micah wasn't, and Irina wasn't cool, but Michael was. They like, oh yeah, she don't even like her man. Then she's like, and Bliss dodged a bullet. I think so too, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I know there's somebody for everybody, but honey, no. Now you see Paul and Zack sitting together having conversations about their relationship. And Paul is like, he's so particular. Like, everything has to be like this and set like this. And I don't like it. It's not giving. Zack was just like, well, my girl, she a decent human, but sister girl ain't giving me no play. She is really acting like she don't like me. And I don't know what it is. But what I do know is that she don't start showing the affection or giving what I thought she was going to give, honey, I'm going to have to chuck up the deuces. Then you see Paul get and sit with Irina. And then he starts being a little flirtatious, asking her, what do she think about his looks? Why does that matter, Paul? Michael is sitting over there not too far away. That's who you need to be concerned about. But of course, Irina bit the bait, and she like, oh, you definitely my type. You is what I normally go after, honey. When I saw you, it was just love at first sight. You was handsome. And of course, you look around and you see Zack over there in the bushes, staking out, just on his normal stalker activities, child. But she called Paul sexy, and I think at that point, Zack knew what time it was. I mean, if he know no other point, he knew then. Chelsea and Kwame didn't even make it down to the dinner, child. They stayed at the room. And Chelsea confronted him like, what was that about? What was that about? Now, I told you, I gave you a little lead. That be it. That be what's wrong with these men. You give them a little inch, they want a mile. I told you it was all right for you to say what you had to say. But I ain't tell you to go over there and do it for hours at a time and just forget all about me. Then Chelsea started saying, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. And he's like, what? What you knew? What you knew? Tell me. And she ain't never really say. But I guess sister girl realized that once they see each other, he probably was going to end up liking her. She then goes to ask him, did you get your closure? This mother had the nerve to say, not fully, but a little. Sus blew up. Not fully. Like, what more do you want? She then goes to ask him, which is what I would ask as well if I was in those situations. Would you have rather been with her? And he says, nope, not. There's no doubt in my mind. I chose who I was supposed to choose. I'm with who I want to be with. No. Shut that down quick, but honey, actions speak louder than words. She then demands, let it go. Let it go. The next day, we see Jackie and Marshall chilling in the pool together, child. Now, I ain't gonna lie, child. Marshall be giving me feminine energy sometimes. Some of the things he do, and remember he did that little walk when he walked off when they had met each other for the first time. I mean, he was doing that little walk. He did something in episode 5 too that was just like, the way he held on to that bag like it was a purse. Like Jackie was just like, oh, he's a weirdo. She was talking about Jack, child. I don't want to be around him. He needs to stay farther away from me. And Irina, she's a peasant. And I'm just like, well, wow. I knew it. I knew sis. One thing about it, I know how to read people's energy. I knew sis was just like what she was giving. The truth is starting to slowly come out, y'all. She's a very pretty girl, but the attitude will make her ugly. Am I the only one that think Brett is giving Usher vibes with that haircut? Tiff says she knows she got the prize, okay? And she just had said the night before that her period was on, she didn't throw that ass in a circle to him, okay? But she did say she know how to please him in other ways, whatever that means. Okay. And now she's talking about, oh, they done did the do. So, did it go off? Or did she say, we run the red lights around here? Which one was it? Now, Kwame did apologize for doing what he did. And even though he apologized, I want to give him, grace or whatever, but I just still wouldn't trust it. But since Chelsea's giving this whole energy like she loves him and so into him so hard, like, I just feel like she gonna run with it. And after all that apology, 2 seconds ago you were saying you still need some more closure. Okay, with Micah. Them feelings ain't erased that damn quick. I will have all my eyes on you. These two and these two, child. Now, once we got to episode 5, I really was feeling horribly for Zack. It was hard to look. It was hard to watch. She kept giving him excuses. She just had sat at the table with Paul all up in him, doing all like this to his chin and his hairs and all this, like being physical. She will not give that same energy to Zack. I was just hoping that he took heed and was going to wake the hell up. Because how long does it take to wake up? He starts pouring out his old feelings and everything, child. And she goes to putting the pillow over his ears. Like, it's just slap after slap after slap. And it's like, do you really want this or do you not? Let me know. And then, to be honest, at that point, that was her opportunity to say no. She still didn't really say it. She kind of went around it. I mean, even though she has made other hints, that was immediately her opportunity to present her true feelings. And she didn't. If you don't find me attractive, if you don't think that my looks can grow on you, why don't we just end it? He's like, I'm not going to chase you. I'm going to replace you. And she's like, what? You're not going to chase me? Surely not. The fuck, you heard what he said. I'm just glad he stood up for himself. Then you got Jackie calling Irina and Micah freaking frat, which they do try to kind of get those teas. Then you hear Paul ask Zack, would he consider Bliss instead? He's really saying like he's not sure. I don't know. He gave a good point. He said, I feel like Bliss deserves someone who chooses her 100%. So I don't know what percentage he choosing Bliss, but it wasn't 100. Now, Kwame started talking about Micah a little bit, but it was very short-lived. And he did mention that he's going to move the hell on. And he was talking with this again with Brett. I'm though glad that Brett pointed out, like, look, you was wrong. You should have just said what you had to say. And then that was it. And moved on alone and went with your wife. You spent too much time and playing up in that girl's face. The mean girls, they sitting together, they chatting it up, and they like, oh, I think it's weird energy. I feel like Chelsea feels some type of way. So let me go over here and talk with her. This is what Michael said. Now, Michael gets up. Now, Michael bought the storm, child. That's when you know people ain't right. She bought the rain. She goes over there. She started talking. Next thing you know, it's raining. It's pouring. And they couldn't even finish their little conversation. But like Chelsea said, she ain't need no closure. She got her man. He's mine, you made her have him once, but I had him all the time. That's the energy she in. But I don't know if she should really be in that energy because, honey, he was giving very much, I can be both of y'all. So, like, Kwame was doing too much that night, though. He kept, like, holding on to her and, like, hitting on the flat ass or, you know, doing little things that was just like, I guess to kind of reassure her. But I can see what it really is. I wasn't buying it. Say that for somebody else. Here go the juicy part. Irina gets back in the room with Zack and she's like, well, I just want to let you know that when we get on the plane, we should just not sit with each other. Now, she done got to the point where you can't even be around me. Do you see how they sitting on the bed? I'm talking about one way over there and the other way over here talking, child. I don't know why at that point she just didn't use the opportunity to say, you know what, yeah, this ain't working out. Bye. She then goes to start bragging now. Oh, I had a great 5-minute conversation with Paul. And I don't understand why I can't have the same with you. When was he gonna get it? I was so relieved when he was like, okay, I'm just gonna call it. This is it. This is it. I done had enough. I done had a damn enough. Enough is enough. And then she's like, well, I'm not done talking. And then they're going back and forth or trying to go back and forth in a sense and start talking about, well, I guess we're good as friends. I don't even think they're good as friends. She feel like he's a weird creep. How can you be friends with somebody that you feel is weird? Why would you want to be around them? She went into this whole great speech about how good he was in the pod and still is. And she is glad to have matched with him. And he's like, honey, really? I find that odd that you even saying that because that's not true. He called her out on her BS. See, what you not finna do is pretty this up. You was the mean girl. You was not into me the entire time. It was horrible. He used the word horrible. It was torture, honey. Okay, sitting in the bed with you, being in the bed with you, being in the same environment as you. It was a no. And she's like, I know I've been the jerk. It's not you. It's me. I've been so hateful. I haven't been the same. I'm not like this with other people. I promise. I'm just not. I hate it. I treated you like this, and I hope you find what you're looking for in Bliss. Now she's pushing him off to somebody else. Then this is when he was just like, you know what, yeah, I'm finna go out like a bang. It was giving what's cold girl at the altar name? Zanab. It was giving Zanab at this point, because let me show you how. They started throwing jabs, honey. It started getting juicy. She's like, honestly, I just want to say that I thought you would have been through the towel in. And then he's like, actually, I was going to throw the towel in on day 3. And she was like, well, I was going to throw the towel in day 1, right when I saw you, immediately. And he says, well, I've been thinking about Bliss the entire time I was with you. Then she says, well, yeah, mine's got away. And then he's like, yeah, your best friend got him. Laugh. I know I cannot be the only one who was cracking up. I was like, they is just letting it flow at this point. He ended it with, yeah, you just go ahead and break up all the relationships. We're going to call you Hurricane Irene. What is the name? Irina. Here comes Irina, fucking everything up. Y'all about to hide your mans, hide your wives, hide your kids, hide them all. Now then, that goes to the clip with Kwame and Chelsea, and he's like, well, I just wanted to know, how did y'all start talking? Like, nigga, was you not there? You was sitting right there when she walked over, when Micah walked over. So how are you asking how did they start talking? He's like, but what I do want to say is that I was very happy that she came over there and wanted to talk with you one-on-one and not me. No, lies. You was highly disappointed that she didn't come pull you to talk to, and instead did Chelsea. I could see it all in his face. He ain't like it. And that you don't look nothing like Paul. She was like, yeah, that's so weird. You guys don't look nothing alike, but Zack said y'all do. And then here's Paul. He's like, yeah, I see it in the jawline, you know, up in here. And she's like, yeah, no, hell no. Why the hell she screamed when Zack leaned in and kissed? Zack leaned in and kissed her, and she said, ah! She literally gets the creeps from. She told her friend Micah, honey, he gives me the icks, major ick. Micah was like, to be honest, he's not really my type either, but you know, we're making things work. Now that's what she messed up yet, telling the girl who likes her man that she not really feeling him. Because I'm willing to bet she's gonna try to use that against her. She's gonna tell him that's what she said. This was another reason why I felt like Marshall was giving like little energy, you know. Jackie was like, ooh, he is fine. Marshall had the whole nerve. He looked over and was like, what? Yeah, babe, I told you. What did he tell her? That he was hot? I died laughing. That was a dead giveaway. At the end of the episode of 5, we see that Zack meets up with Bliss. Now, when she walked in, remember now, she had never seen him before. And she was like, Zack, I just feel like in my heart of hearts that she gonna be like, nah, I'm good. Not even just on looks, but just on the fact of that you didn't choose me. So why would I come back? And if she does stay, it's for her to get some TV time. I really want to know what you think. Come on in them comments and talk to me. Go ahead and thumbs this video up. That lets YouTube know that this video needs to be in them YouTube streets for everybody to see. I needs to know how you feel, what you thinking. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, because of course we're gonna talk about the other episodes when they become available. Y'all come and tell me who the hell y'all think gonna really get married. I know for a fact Britt and Tiff. Everybody else, as of right now, I'm not really sure.